When people talk about success, they often tie it to age. They say you're too young, that you need more experience, that you should wait until you grow older to make something of yourself. But let me tell you, age is not a limitation, it is an advantage. When you are young, you hold something that most people forget as they grow older: energy, creativity, fearlessness, and time. You're not tied down by the weight of responsibilities that come later in life. You're not boxed in by years of failure that can make people cautious, and you're not limited by the belief system that society plants deeper and deeper as you age. Instead, you stand at a point in life where curiosity is alive, where taking risks feels natural, and where you can afford to fall and rise again. That's why starting young is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Think about it. At 14, you have the freedom to try things without the fear of losing everything. You don't have a mortgage, you don't have kids depending on you, you don't have bills stacking up on the table. What you do have is time to learn, time to experiment, time to fail, and time to try again. Failure at a young age doesn't close doors, it opens them, because every mistake is a lesson you carry forward. People twice your age pay thousands of dollars for lessons you can learn simply by daring to start now. When you begin early, you build a foundation that compounds, and before you know it, what seems like small progress today becomes extraordinary results tomorrow. The world often underestimates young people. They expect teenagers to waste hours on video games, social media, or hanging out without purpose. And while there's nothing wrong with enjoying youth, the truth is, those same hours can also be invested in building a future. Imagine this: while your friends are scrolling endlessly, you could be learning a skill that pays for the rest of your life. While others are spending money on trends that fade, you could be investing in something that grows. While most people wait for opportunities, you could be creating them. The advantage of being young is not just having time, but also having the element of surprise. Nobody expects you to achieve something significant at such an early age, and when you do, the impact is 10 times louder because you break the stereotype that age defines potential. Of course, people will doubt you. They'll say, "You're just a kid, you don't know enough, you can't possibly succeed." But that doubt is exactly what can fuel you. Because when you prove them wrong, you don't just succeed for yourself, you succeed for everyone who was told they were too young, too inexperienced, or not ready. You show them that readiness isn't about age, it's about mindset. The ones who wait for the perfect moment never start, but those who use the moment they have create their own perfection. And let's be real, starting young means you're already ahead of the game. If someone begins chasing their dream at 30 and you begin at 14, you have a 16-year advantage. 16 years of building, learning, failing, improving, and compounding your effort. By the time others are starting, you've already created momentum that can't be matched. That's the true power of beginning early. It's like running a marathon with a massive head start. So never believe the lie that you're too young to achieve something great. Age doesn't disqualify you, it empowers you. If anything, being young gives you the chance to do more, to fail faster, to learn quicker, and to grow stronger. Every success story you've ever admired began with someone daring to start before others thought it was possible. And the difference between those who dream and those who achieve is simple. One waited for permission, the other started with what they had, where they were, as young as they were. That's why I say your age is not your weakness. It's your weapon. Use it, protect it, value it. Because if you choose to start now, you won't just change your own life. You'll inspire an entire generation that waits for tomorrow while you prove that today is enough. And when the world looks back and says, "How did someone at 14 earn $21,000? The answer will always be the same. You saw age not as a barrier but as an advantage. and you used it to build something greater than anyone thought possible. Every journey of success begins with a dream, and not just any dream, but one that is bigger than your circumstances. Too many people allow their surroundings, their family background, or their financial situation to dictate how far they can go. They look at where they are and assume that's all they can ever be. But the ones who achieve something extraordinary are those who dare to see beyond the walls around them. They understand that a dream isn't meant to fit comfortably inside the life you were born into. It's meant to stretch you, to pull you into something greater, to challenge the very limb you've been told you have. When you were young, your circumstances might not look like much. You might not have money, connections, or resources at your fingertips. People might look at you and expect nothing more than average, but this is where the power of a big dream comes in. A big dream doesn't ask what you have right now. It asks what you are willing to create. It doesn't shrink because of lack. It grows in spite of it. And the truth is, the bigger the dream, the harder it becomes for anyone to ignore it. It's that inner fire that keeps you moving when others are standing still. It's what pushes you to wake up early, to stay up late, to work when no one is watching, because you can see something no one else can. Of course, not everyone will understand your dream. In fact, most won't. They'll laugh, they'll question you, they'll remind you of every limitation you have. They'll tell you it's impossible, that you're thinking too big, that you should be realistic. But here's the secret: realism has never changed the world, only dreams have. Realism keeps you where you are, but a dream takes you where you've never been. If people doubt you, let that be confirmation that your dream is big enough. Because if your vision doesn't scare others or make them uncomfortable, it's probably too small. A dream bigger than your circumstances gives you direction. It's like a lighthouse in the distance, guiding you even when the waters are stormy. There will be days when nothing seems to work, when rejection stings, when failure knocks you down, but that dream reminds you why you started. It whispers that the pain is temporary, but the reward is eternal, and as you move toward it, something incredible happens. You begin to grow into the person capable of achieving it. The dream isn't just about reaching the goal, it's about who you become on the way there. Let's be honest, without a big dream, it's too easy to quit. If your dream is small, any obstacle will stop you. But if your dream is massive, no obstacle feels big enough to block it. Think about it. A young person earning $1,000 at just 14 doesn't happen because of chance. It happens because the dream behind it was too powerful to let fear or doubt win. That kind of dream makes you take action others would never dare to take. It forces you to grow skills, to learn fast, to keep pushing even when you're tired. It becomes your fuel, your motivation, your reason to refuse average. And here's the beauty of it: dreams are contagious. When you carry a vision bigger than your circumstances, people may not understand at first, but eventually they can't ignore the results. They begin to see the possibility for themselves. They realize that if someone could dream big in the middle of nothing and turn it into something, then maybe their own excuses aren't valid anymore. That's how one dream can ignite many. So never let your circumstances define your future. Don't let where you start decide where you finish. A dream bigger than your environment has the power to pull you out of it, to lift you to levels you never thought possible. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize it wasn't your money, your resources, or your connections that got you there. It was your decision to dream bigger than your limitations and to hold on to that dream until it became reality. The true measure of success is never just about how much money you make, but about the lives you impact along the way. When a young person accomplishes something remarkable, like building $1,000 in income at just 14, the real power lies not only in the achievement itself, but in inspiration it sparks in others. People begin to look at you differently, not with envy, but with a sense of possibility. They start to question the excuses they've been telling themselves for years. They think, if someone so young can do it, why can't I? And in that moment, your success becomes more than personal. It becomes a message of hope for others. The world is full of people waiting for proof that dreams are worth chasing. Many are stuck in the cycle of doubt, fear, and hesitation. They want to believe it's possible, but they've never seen anyone close to them break the pattern. That's why your journey matters. When you succeed, you become that living example. You give people a story they can hold on to, a reason to believe that the limits they thought were real are nothing more than illusions. Every win you achieve sends a ripple of belief into the lives of people who thought they were too old, too young, too poor, too inexperienced, or too ordinary to do something extraordinary. And the impact goes deeper than you may realize. It's not only about inspiring strangers or friends. It's also about shifting the mindset of those closest to you. Parents who once doubted begin to dream bigger for their own futures. Siblings who once laughed start to see a path for themselves. Friends who wasted time begin to ask questions about how they can use theirs better. Your success becomes a mirror that shows others what they are capable of. It shows them that greatness isn't reserved for some distant hero they'll never meet, but for people like you and me who simply made a decision to start. What's powerful is that this kind of inspiration doesn't end with one person. It spreads. Someone watches your story, they take action, they succeed, and then they inspire someone else. Suddenly, a chain reaction begins, and you realize that what you started wasn't just a personal victory, it was the spark for a movement. That's why your effort matters more than you think. You're not just building wealth or proving a point, you're writing a blueprint for others to follow. You're showing the next young dreamer that they don't have to wait, they don't have to settle, and they don't have to accept the limitations placed on them. And the truth is, the responsibility grows with your success, because once you've achieved something people thought was impossible, you carry the responsibility to continue leading by example. Your journey doesn't stop at the first victory, it's just the beginning. Each step you take, each new level you reach, gives others one more reason to believe. You become a lighthouse in a world full of uncertainty, a signal that no matter where you start, you can rise. So understand this, your success is never just about you. It's about the kid who's afraid to start because they think they're too young. It's about the adult who feels like they've already missed their chance. It's about the countless people searching for a sign that their dream is worth fighting for. When you achieve something great, you become that sign, and long after the money has been spent or the numbers have been forgotten, the inspiration you gave will remain. That is the real legacy. This is why it's important not to hide your story or minimize your success. Share it not to brag, but to light the fire in someone else. Because you never know who is watching, you never know who needs that exact moment of belief, and you never know how far the ripple of your courage will travel. In the end, success isn't just about building your own life, it's about inspiring others to believe in theirs.